Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our topic is about hidden toxins in cleaning products. Actually, we have so many toxins that we are not aware of, but for this one, we will focus on 1,4-dioxane. So, introducing our group members, my name is Nuridayati binti Cik Raza, and my friends is Nawar Shaza binti Abdul Hamid and Nur Amani binti Hussein. So, for the contents of our presentation, we will include the introduction, response, precaution, and conclusion. For the introduction, we will introduce 1,4-dioxane, situation and risk, and epidemiology studies involved. For the response, we will explain the response occurred in human body and associated adverse effect. For the precaution, we will introduce the precaution, regulation, or government act on the harmful effect of 1,4-dioxane, and we will conclude all about this presentation. So for the introduction, what is 1,4-dioxane? 1,4-dioxane is a synthetic industrial chemical that is completely miscible in water. It is a byproduct used in the cleaning product and the most harmful chemical that we found in cleaning products. Exposure of 1,4-dioxane can occur through ingestion of contaminated food or water, or even dermal contact, and also inhalation. 1,4-dioxane can cause acute, intermediate, and chronic effects to humans. And 1,4-dioxane has been classified by the EPA as likely to be carcinogenic to humans by all routes of exposure, and studies have shown that 1,4-dioxane could give effect to the body system and sometimes cause death. These are examples of cleaning products that contain 1,4-dioxane, which are familiar and common in Malaysia. So, as the example is Tide Original, which contains 14,000 parts per billion or 14 parts per million, which have high level of 1,4-dioxane. And then 2 times Ultra Evolution Gentle Care, which contain 11,000 ppb or 11 ppm. Then next, Pantene Pro-V-Nature Fusion, Ajax, L'Oreal Elva Total Repair, and also Johnson Baby Shampoo for baby products also have the 1,4-dioxane.
So the next one is health effects of 1,4-dioxane to human especially. So this is the diagram I include in the study. We show 1,4-dioxane exposure concerns from the source to receptor. As we can see, production workers, general population, and ecosystem can be affected by 1,4-dioxane. So before I explain more about the effects of 1,4-dioxane, this is the easy picture of the health risks associated with 1,4-dioxane in drinking water and consumer products, which includes cancer, liver and kidney damage, lung irritation, and lastly, eye and skin irritation. Biological effects of 1,4-dioxane based on the study research. First one, there must be an exposure of 1,4-dioxane, which the most common is through inhalation, dermal, and the least one is ingestion or oral. Airborne 1,4-dioxane for periods ranging from few minutes to 6 hours produce eye, nose, and throat irritation with minimum exposure concentration of 50 ppm. Based on the study, subjects complain of gastrointestinal pain, high blood pressure, anuria, leukocytosis, and also exhibited signs of nervous system involvement. Death occur 5 to 8 days after initial symptoms of the illness. So, lastly, postmortem evaluation revealed extensive liver and kidney damage, and in 3 over 5 cases described in one study, kidney disease was considered to be the direct cause of the death. So the next one is, can 1,4-dioxane cause cancer? Based on our reading, dioxane was first reported to be carcinogenic by Argus and co-workers. Fast forward, at the end of their experiments, 6 rats were found to have hepatocarcinomas, while 1 had additional tumors of the kidney and leukemia. The latter 2 cancers judged to not be treatment-related. The paper went on to hypothesize that the mode of action for tumor induction by dioxane involved denaturation of cellular micromolecules with resulting changes in morphology of endoplasmic membranes, causing changing in the conformation and thus activity of the individual enzymes. According to studies, there are no absolute studies available that can indicate whether 1,4-dioxane can cause cancer in human. However, we can see laboratory rats that breathe vapors of 1,4-dioxane during most of their life have developed cancer in their nose and in their abdominal cavity. They also develop benign tumors in their liver. Laboratory rats and mice that drank water, which is through oral, containing 1,4-dioxane during most of their life, have developed liver cancer and also developed cancer inside their nose. Some scientists believe that 1,4-dioxane may cause cancer by a non-genotoxic mechanism. Scientists are debating the degree to which the findings in rats and mice can apply to exposure situations commonly encountered by people.
Okay, next is for the precaution and prevention, which aims to avoid any toxicity effect of 1,4-dioxane. So the first thing we should consider doing is to minimize usage of any product containing 1,4-dioxane, whether it is cleaning product, cosmetic, or even drinking water that may contain 1,4-dioxane. So if you know that these certain product contain 1,4-dioxane, so avoid it or minimize it. Other than that, we also need to avoid or minimize skin contact with cleaning product that contain 1,4-dioxane. And remember to wash your hands thoroughly after contact. And most importantly, do not breathe in the vapor, because it might cause irritation to respiratory tract. In some products, 1,4-dioxane only exists as contaminant, so they're not written on the ingredient list, although it is actually there. So what do we need to do if we want to know whether it has 1,4-dioxane or not? Look again in the ingredient list. If it does contain substances like sodium lauryl sulfate, PEG compound, chemical that include clauses of xylol, cetiaryl, olive, then there is high chance that it has 1,4-dioxane. So we should avoid products that contain these substances. The next thing to do is do not wear wet clothing right after washing it with cleaning product that contain 1,4-dioxane. This is because there might still be leftover 1,4-dioxane on the clothes, so contact with skin might cause irritation to skin. Last but not least, if 1,4-dioxane is used as chemical in laboratory, then we should follow the correct instruction of usage and always wear appropriate PPE. Next one is for the regulation and recommendation. Some organizations like EPA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration OSHA, and the Food and Drug Administration FDA, these are some of the federal agencies that develop regulation for toxic substances. They provide valuable guidelines to protect public health. Some of the regulation and recommendation for 1,4-dioxane includes the level of 1,4-dioxane in drinking water that is set by EPA. They has determined the exposure of 1,4-dioxane in drinking water at concentration of 4 mg per liter for 1 day or 0.4 mg per liter for 10 days. It's not expected to cause any adverse effect in a child. Next is level of 1,4-dioxane in workplace air that is set by OSHA. They set a legal limit of 100 ppm of 1,4-dioxane in air average over an 8-hour workday. Next is the level of 1,4-dioxane set by NAS, which is National Academy of Science, that established a maximum specification of 10 ppm for 1,4-dioxane in the ingredient polysorbate, which is a food additive. Next is the level of 1,4-dioxane that is set by FDA. They considered 10 ppm to be an acceptable limit for 1,4-dioxane during its evaluation of spermicide and 9 in a contraceptive sponge product. They also set a limit of 1,4-dioxane at 10 ppm in approving glyceride and polyglyceride for use as excipient in products such as dietary supplement. Thank you.
So as a conclusion about 1,4-dioxane, 1,4-dioxane is a toxic chemical to human. The toxicity of 1,4-dioxane can lead to carcinogenicity and cytotoxicity and sometimes cause death in a long time of exposure. Exposure of 1,4-dioxane could happen through oral, dermal, and inhalation. However, regulation, recommendation, and government act have been developed to control the usage of 1,4-dioxane by manufacturer. Manufacturer must avoid the use of 1,4-dioxane in cleaning product, which could expose the harmful effect to the consumer and the workers. And also, the consumer must be aware the ingredient used in the cleaning product from the updated news, since the manufacturer actually does not include it in the product's description. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.